Unlock your dream property with Meeks Realty Group, where Rich the Realtor makes real estate dreams a reality. Whether it's residential or commercial, we've got Charleston to Huntington covered. Your key to exceptional real estate experiences start here. Meeks Realty Group. Contact us at meeks.us.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. From the studios of WVRC Media, the country, the United States of America, the state, West Virginia, the city, Charleston. This is the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. And your host.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
And a good Monday morning to you. Welcome to the show. The A-Train, Anthony Harmon, is our producer today. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live comes to you from the Parmar Store Studio. Parmar, the Written Family Foundation, best price and fair price again, offering the Parmar Store scholarships available to any high school senior or undergraduate student from West Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Kentucky, who has enrolled in a college, university, trade school, or technical program. Applications and details available at parmarstores.com. And the community tab application deadline is April 30th. If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon. And the Dave Allen Show is brought to you by Thornhill Auto Group, including Thornhill Toyota. Toyota National Sales Event continues. Come check out the 2024 Camry, Corolla, the all-new Crown, or the new 2024 RAV4 Highlander gas, where qualified buyers can get 3.99% APR for up to 60 months. See them for all the details on the Thornhill Motor Mile, US 119 in Chabonville, or online, Thornhill Toyota, WV.com. Thornhill, let's go places. Coming up on the show this morning, keep in mind it's April Fool's Day, okay? Just letting you know, because there's been a lot of things floating around social media already. It's April Fool's Day, but I'm going to try to avoid all that on the show today, all right? I don't play those games. Well, actually, I do, but just not going to do it on the show. A little bit later on today, the Chief of Staff for Mayor Goodwin, Matt Sutton, is going to be stopping by the studio. You got questions or comments or concerns, anything related to the city of Charleston, here's your chance to call in or to text them over. Chief of Sutton loves phone calls to light him up this morning. That's coming up a little bit later on. Plus, Stephen Allen Adams from Ogden Newspapers will be stopping by later on, too. I'm kind of interested to get Stephen's take on the recent legislative session just ended a few weeks ago. Plus, it's getting downright nasty in the race for Republican nomination for governor. Some real shots are being fired now, mainly as of late against Attorney General Patrick Morrisey. I'm going to get into that with Stephen coming up a little bit later on. Plus, your calls and texts are welcome, too. Again, Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. I want to welcome into the show now candidate for magistrate in District 11, Harry Carpenter. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Dave. Good to be here.
Thank you for being here, sir. So how do these old district things work in Kanawha County anyway?
Well, a few years ago, when a person wanted to run for magistrate, they just threw all the names in one hat. Mm-hmm. Top 10 survived.
It's like a tournament.
Yeah. So a few years ago, I think two elections ago, the state changed that. And now they had 10 districts. Now, with the addition of 3, we'll have 13. Mm-hmm. And basically what you do is you just pick a district. It's still a countywide race, but you're just designated to a district. And you run 1-on-1 or 1-on-3, 1-on-5, mm-hmm. however many people decide to pick that district.
Okay. Give us a lowdown on Harry Carpenter. Give us your bio.
Well, graduated from Sissonville High School, retired from the Kanawha County Sheriff's Office, put 25 years in over there, the last 15 as chief of the Home Confinement Division. Got 2 daughters, or two children, a son and a daughter, and 3 granddaughters. I'm a former board member of the Kanawha County Humane Association. I'm the president of the Blue Knights Law Enforcement Motorcycle Club, member of the FOP, Fraternal Order of the Police, and basically I like to perform community service, particularly as it pertains to kids.
Okay.
I started a program 22 years ago at Coonskin Park. Lynn Watts and I wanted to do something for Christmas. So the plan was, after the first couple of years, we would make it free and available to families that they could bring their kids to the park, have pictures taken with Santa Claus, get free cookies, free hot chocolate, crafts, ride the train, just spend an evening. And that thing blew up. Of course, I was Santa Claus, and we were averaging 300 kids a night. So
wow.
It's a program I'm pretty proud of.
So now, with all this community service, and you're to be commended, I think, for that, why do you want to be magistrate?
Well, it's just an extension of what I've done for the last 25 years. As the chief of the home confinement division, I worked in the courthouse literally every day. I worked with every magistrate, judge, prosecutor, criminal defense attorney, defendants, victims. You know, so my knowledge is pretty vast in that arena. So I just think it'd be a natural fit.
So it's a nonpartisan race, of course, but do you mind telling us what your political party is?
It's nonpartisan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I ask that because I always get people that ask that. So
I don't know. You know, the Supreme Court keeps you restrained as to what you can and can't say publicly. So I just need to be careful with that.
Okay. All right. What do you see?
Not ashamed of it. Don't get me wrong, but just want to be careful. I don't want to get that phone call.
Okay. What do you see as the biggest needs of the office, Harry?
Well, you know, the magistrate court is not broken, so obviously you're not going to go in and fix it. But there are some tweaks that I think I'd like to bring to the bench. One of my peeves is bond monitoring. You get these individuals charged with a crime, a bond set, they go home. Well, while they're home, they'll still continue to commit crimes. You know, Kanawha County has resources to help with the bond monitoring, whether it be home confinement or the day report center, somewhere where Big Brother is watching while they're out on bond awaiting disposition. That's probably one of my biggest things.
So you'd like to change that if at all possible?
Well, it's not change. It's there. It's always been
right,
there.
Yeah.
That source has always been there. And years ago, you know, I can remember, you know, we were monitoring 180, 200 people. You know, today it's down in double figures. And I don't know why.
Right.
But, you know, when you have an asset such as that, you know, the court doesn't cost the court a dime to use it.
Okay, I understand what you're saying now. Yeah. It seems like that in the court system, Harry, and again, we're talking with Harry Carpenter, who's a candidate for magistrate here in Kanawha County. It seems like whenever I have anybody that's running for magistrate, or even when I have police officers on the show, which I frequently do, or I have a judge on the show, they always say a lot of the same thing, is that if, as a magistrate, you see a lot of the same people, and they call it a revolving door. Police will tell you that, judges, so on and so forth. I mean, I know it's not, you don't have the miracle plan to fix that, but just talk about that.
Well, you're preaching to the choir. I agree. I mean, we've had some defendants on our program that, to be realistic, they knew as much about the process as their attorneys did. So, you know, they knew what to plead, how to make it work. And again, if we invoked a little bond monitoring, then maybe, just maybe, you know, you might turn some of those people, keep them out of trouble. You know, obviously from childhood to adulthood, you know, peer pressure has a lot to do with how you conduct yourself. And if you keep them away from that element, you know, maybe you can turn them. Our drug court, you know, they've been very, very successful. And I might add that I was one of the original board members that Judge Bailey assigned to the drug court 20 years ago.
So it was 20 years ago?
It's been a while. It was Mike Rutherford's first term, so probably about 06.
Okay.
It's been a while.
The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by General Hardware of Winfield and Milton and General Lumber of Winfield. If you're planning a project this spring, please shop locally. They're also doing some hiring there. If you need a job, go see them. Stop by any location for details. Visit generalhardwarewv.com. Talk about your campaign. How's the campaign been? You out knocking doors? You doing what are you doing to campaign?
Very, very, very busy. Last 2 weeks especially, and this week's not too bad, but next week we gear it back up again. Yes, we've been, and people have been very receptive. These campaign signs, you post them on your Facebook page, and be careful what you ask for, okay?
Because people want them.
Oh, yeah, and that's great. I mean, I appreciate that, and we make every effort possible to get them out to them. I think so far I've put out over 40 of the 4 before signs, and I'm working on 300-plus yard signs so far. So, a couple meet the candidates meetings, and just talking to the public in general.
What do you hear when you're out there talking to the public? What's the number one couple things that you hear in talking to the public?
Just what we just talked about. Mm-hmm. Okay, these fellows, ladies, gentlemen, whatever. Defendants that are back out in the community committing crime. Now, understand you can't put everybody in jail.
Sure, yeah.
That's not going to happen, and community members need to understand that. But again, if you have some kind of a outlet to place them in, to help them get a turn. Then maybe you can succeed sometimes. Mm-hmm. But that's the biggest complaint, and it's usually the same people in the same neighborhoods.
Mm. Do you have a Facebook page, website, or anything like that?
I do. Harry Carpenter for Magistrate, and what I'm doing on my page is I'm not posting every news event that comes out. Mm-hmm. I'll let you do that, but I'm just doing a little weekly autobiographical thing about me and what we've talked about today, and let the voters know the candidate. That's my message is know who you're voting for. Mm-hmm. Just because you see a name on a ballot, try to know. And with today, just about every candidate has a Facebook page. Go look for it. See what's on that page. See if you can learn a little bit about your candidate.
Final 30. Why should somebody vote for Harry Carpenter for magistrate in Kanawha County?
Well, I have in my district, I'm the only one that really has any courtroom experience. I've testified in hundreds of cases. I've made decisions regarding whether people get to go home or go back to jail, so I can make the decisions. And I've got common sense and level-headed, and I can listen to both parties. And I just think that given the chance, I can do an outstanding job. And I would encourage voters, if you know any prosecutors, judges, or magistrates, ask them about Harry Carpenter. And I guarantee you that when you leave, that's who you're going to vote for.
Harry, I appreciate you being here, man. Thanks a lot. Nice to get to know you.
Hey, Dave. It's a treat, man. Just anytime, call me back. We'll just do a little chat.
All right. Harry Carpenter, again, candidate for magistrate here in Kanawha County. It's 9:21, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, presented in part by Pinnacle Consultants. Whether you're replacing a roof, remodeling a kitchen, or replacing a bathroom, keep it safe, keep it legal. Get with Pinnacle Consultants. They can inspect your site, collect samples, perform lab analysis, and provide results within about a week. Testing all renovations for mold, asbestos, and lead is the law in West Virginia. Visit pinnaclecorp.net for Pinnacle Consultants, because what you don't know can hurt you. Stephen Allen Adams coming up next. We're back after this from the Parmar Store Studio on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Are you a physical therapy assistant and looking for an opportunity in orthopedics, wellness, and athletic care? If so, Generations Physical Therapy is offering flexible work hours and an upbeat atmosphere. With 7 convenient locations, Generations may have a job designed for you. Visit generationspt.com.
Buckle up. Adventure will never be the same on the Thornhill Motor Mile. Ready, set, go. Hey, it's Sydney inviting you you to the new Thornhill Toyota for our amazing deals during the Toyota National Sales Event. Just imagine you in a new 2024 Toyota Camry, Corolla, or all-new Crown. Or step up with a Toyota SUV like a new 2024 RAV4 or Highlander Gas, where you can enjoy 3.99% financing for 60 months. So many possibilities. Ready, set, go to the new Thornhill Toyota. The Thornhill Motor Mile US 119 in Chapmanville. Click or come by ThornhillToyotaWV.com and let's go places. Must qualify for all offers through Toyota Financial. Expires April 1st, 2024. Shop Thornhill to get yours.
Hi, I'm David McCormick, owner of Omega Commercial Interiors. We'd like to thank you, West Virginia, for making us the #1 office furniture and commercial interiors company in West Virginia. Remember, when you're looking for quality office furniture and space planning for healthcare, corporate offices, or even a private office, call us and buy local. Omega Commercial Interiors. We're a proud West Virginia company. Visit us online at OmegaCommercialInteriors.com in Morgantown and Charleston.
Hey, aren't you that chef that's running for magistrate?
I am the chef that's running for magistrate. I'm incumbent magistrate Gary Sheff, S-H-E-F-F. I'm the only chef on the ballot. I'd appreciate your vote and the opportunity to continue to serve Kanawha County as Division 9 magistrate.
This message is paid for by the Committee to Keep Magistrate Gary Sheff, Greg Silverman, Treasurer.
Thank you for your support. I'm Gary Sheff, and I approve this message.
9:23, the Dave Allen Show and 580 Live, brought to you part by Fresh Air. They'll change those heating and cooling unit air filters for your home, your retail establishment, industrial business, whatever it is. They can take care of you. They also offer 24-hour emergency service. Visit freshairfilters.us or call 304-440-1104 for Fresh Air, because everyone deserves fresh air. The A-Train Anthony Harmon is our producer today. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. Coming up a little bit later on the show, Matt Sutton, the Chief of Staff for the Goodwin administration, is going to be stopping by. I want to welcome in now Stephen and Alan Adams from Ogden newspaper. Stephen, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Dave. Thanks for having me on this April Fool's Day. I see what you did there.
No, man, it wasn't planned that way. I promise much. Now, if I would have done do something like that, I would have had Brad on, so we could have had the BS report.
Yes,
Brad together.
Yes.
Let's go back to the session, which wrapped up a couple of weeks ago. Overall, this is a very, very loaded question, Stephen. But overall, your thoughts on the session?
It was kind of a waste of time, and I've said that.
All right, then. Thank you for coming.
Yeah. I've said that all throughout the session. It was kind of a waste. It was an election year. They were going to play it somewhat safe. They obviously played to some legislation meant to show that they're more further to the right than their primary opponents that they're all having, because most of them are being challenged. A lot of these elections, as you know, are going to be decided in the primary, and which candidate is more conservative than the other. So you've had some bills that were pushed, and a lot of them died, which is interesting enough to me that you have a supermajority, and a lot of those bills die either because maybe you didn't really want them in the first place, but you wanted to look like you're doing them, or bad management, one or the other. I don't know if I want to be a lawmaker that has to decide which is which on that, but it really was kind of lackluster.
Were you surprised that the governor vetoed the immunization bill?
No, I really was not. I kind of got the impression he was going to veto that. Keep in mind, he's got Sherry Young, who's the former Kanawha County health officer who now runs the Department of Health for the state. You have Clay Marsh, the longtime COVID czar, friend of the governor that I knew was probably going to be putting pressure on him. A lot of pressure, certainly from the medical community, pediatricians, doctors, pharmacists. Surprisingly, as much as they say they want it and there's a political movement out there for it, there wasn't that much of a push from, I guess we'll call them the pro-health freedom side, to get the governor to sign it. There was a petition and a few people that showed up at the governor's office, but not as much pressure on that end as you would think. So I think it's not a surprise to me. I think we've done such a good job of vaccinations in this state when it comes to long-time transmittable diseases that there's really no reason to keep it up. And I'm very surprised the bill even got as much traction as it ended up getting.
I think we have a call, Stephen. Oh. So, all right, Anthony, if you're ready, we'll go ahead and we'll say, caller, you're on with Stephen Adams. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hello,
David.
Yes, sir.
David, this is Emmett Hedrick. I wanted to let everyone know that there is a meet and greet for Secretary of State Mac Warner Tuesday, April 2nd, which is tomorrow, Holiday Inn Express Civic Center, 100 Civic Center Drive, which is right across the street, across Coyer Street from the Civic Center. It will be from 4 until 8 p.m. Secretary of State Mac Warner will be there. He's a veteran. He's a West Virginian.
Yeah, okay, all right. No, okay. We're not going to do political commercials here, sir. Sorry.
Okay.
Tell Mr. Warner, who's a good friend of mine, and Stevens, tell him he's going to get a bill for this, just so you know that, okay? But give us the details. Go ahead.
Okay.
When is it?
From 4 until 8 p.m. Tuesday, April 2nd, Holiday Inn Express.
All right, noted. I appreciate it. 9:27. So let's get back to it, Stephen. With all due respect to Secretary Warner, you got to pay for that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Hey, and speaking of paid promotion, we actually have a big feature article this weekend on Secretary of State candidates, the Republicans. So that'd be Chris Warner, Mac Warner's brother, Doug Scaff, Ken Reed, and Putnam County Clerk Brian Wood. So you can look at that in our newspapers.
All right. Let me get back. I want to ask you about some polls. There are a lot of polls out. This time of year, that's what you see. One of the things I think that kind of interested me is the number of people that are Republicans, at least in some of these polls, Stephen, that are undecided, especially in the race for governor. Your thoughts on that?
Oh, huge undecideds in some polls I've seen. I've seen an internal poll in regards to the 2nd congressional district race where the undecideds are really high in that. We have now the Emerson College Next Star poll that just came out last week, and the undecideds are high in that. Sure, Morrissey has, about 33% in that poll. I think Moore Capito had about 14%. Chris Miller seems to be coming up. He was at 16, I recall. Mac kind of in the bottom of that, but the undecideds, I think, were somewhere around 28, 29% in that poll. And yeah, people are really just kind of sitting back and kind of waiting to see. It says a lot. It says one thing. It says that Morrissey's support is sort of kind of petered out. He can only really go down, I think. I think he will lose people between now and the election. But it says that there's a lot of room for particularly Chris Miller and Moore Capito to really work hard and get their name out there. We know Chris Miller certainly is. He's got a new ad out today.
And I want to get to that here in a couple of moments, but I will mention this on polling, Stephen. Hoppy did an informal poll on the governor's race on Friday. It was a Twitter poll, very informal, but it showed former Delegate Moore Capito in the lead slightly at 41%, Morrissey 36%, Chris Miller at 14%, Secretary of State Warner at 9%. Very non-scientific poll, but nonetheless, that's about the first one I've seen that had Capito in the lead.
That's the first one that I've seen that had Capito in the lead. I saw that over the weekend. I'd say right now, I don't know about the Next Star poll. The thing that confuses me about that, there's a missing 2% in that poll.
Mark Curtis is going to be on the show Wednesday, so I'll have to ask Mark about that.
Ask him about that, because it annoys me. It doesn't add up to 100%, and polls that don't add up to 100% really kind of get to me. But exactly, I think Morrissey's probably in the lead. I'd say Moore Capito's probably fairly high up just for the name recognition aspect. But Chris Miller, I have no doubt, is probably shooting up to the top, and I would love to see another poll that kind of corroborate what we just saw in that Next Star poll.
Talking to Stephen Adams of Ogden Newspapers here on the Dave Allen Show. In the heart of West Virginia, there exists a profound force that goes beyond the realm of sports, transcending limitations and fostering a sense of belonging. Special Olympics, a remarkable initiative showcasing the latest episode of West Virginia Enriched in collaboration with Huntington, stands as a testament to the power of determination, unity, and unwavering support. See a video highlighting the Special Olympics at facebook.com/580WCHS. All right, Stephen, here's my take on the governor's race amongst the Republicans. Now, we all know who many of the Republicans are backing. I'll take the Americans for Prosperity group. Technically a nonpartisan organization, but they do lean to one side. And I think that if you talk to Crescent, who I had on the show last week, and Jason, they'll probably tell you that. They are firmly behind Morrissey, as they've said. Many of the major players in the party are squarely behind Chris Miller, although they may not be quite as vocal about it. The more mainline, moderate country club, Chamber of Commerce types seem to be backing Capito. And Mac Warner, obviously, because of his military background, is certainly going going to have a lot of support from those that are not only military people, but also those that are very sympathetic, as we all are, to the military folks. So everybody's starting to line up, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's it for sure. I could actually wallpaper one side of my house with as many Americans for Prosperity mailers as I've gotten in regards to the Morrissey race. Very fervently in that corner. You got Club for Growth. You got Black Bear PAC. That's a former Morrissey advisor running that. A lot of big money there. A lot of big expenditures going on there. You've, of course, got Moore Capito, who does, of course, have a lot of the same backers as his mother, U.S. Senator Shelley Moore Capito. I think we all expect the governor at some point to probably endorse him in that, but I mean, that's still kind of hanging out there. And then you've got, of course, Chris Miller, Huntington automobile dealer, definitely pushing out a lot of commercials, has a lot of support of fellow business people in similar businesses, car dealerships, and things of that nature. Probably has a lot of the social conservative support. I feel like that's starting to grow. And then Mac Warner, who I think should have always stuck with the lane of military and veterans, because he is the only veteran in the race, and that's a huge component. So I think if he keeps focusing back on that, I think that could be helpful going forward.
Now let's get to, you sort of mentioned some of the advertising. I want to talk about primarily, you talked about the mailers that you've been getting. And I have said this to political candidates with all due respect. And of course, I'm going to push radio, that and digital and things of that nature. However,
print's still alive.
Print as well. I will say this, that if you go to your local post office, if you happen to walk into the Charleston, St. Albans, whatever the post offices go in, look at how many of those end up in the trash. So, guys, I don't know if those really work or not. I used to tell political candidates before I started doing this show, and I was in the political game a little bit more. I had those candidates, man, that wanted to push those mailers. I would say 95% of them end up in the trash. Keep that in mind, but that's neither here nor there. All right, so let's talk about some of the negative ads that are out there right now. There are some that are particularly brutal against Attorney General Patrick Morrissey in his race for governor.
Well, that's right. Of course, you have the one ad put out by a independent expenditure committee that is ran by Chris Miller's father, also the husband of U.S. Representative Carol Miller, that seems to be going hard after Morrissey in regards to possible connections during his lobbyist days, lobbying for pharmaceutical companies that had some connection to medication use in gender-affirming care. I think one of those ads got pulled off WOAY TV from what I saw, so there may be an issue with that ad. But Chris Miller has also now released his own ads kind of hitting Morrissey for the same thing. Today just unveiled a new ad with a parent and daughter from Kanawha County talking about their experiences with a transgender girl or biological boy in a locker room, and apparently Morrissey had a very kind of wish-washy response to it, so now they're against Morrissey. It's a very interesting ad that they've put out today, so a lot of pressure on that. We as press, of course, have to vet that stuff very carefully, so I would like to kind of vet it and see how much of this is accurate and what's not, but no doubt about it, it's negative, and they think it's going to have a big effect on pulling voters away from Morrissey.
When I sit back and I hear ads on the radio or specifically you see the ones on television, especially the ones that are coming from all the PACs. Many of these, Stephen, you could sit there and go, not happening, not happening, not happening, didn't happen. And that's across the board from a lot of different candidates. I'm not picking on one in particular. I'm just saying, and as voters, you really got to do your homework, on these things and do it yourself. You know?
Well, yeah, because it's true that the ads have to be true. That's one of the things that you have. I'm making a larger point on that. They have to be true, but it doesn't mean the true things that you're putting in the ad aren't necessarily stretched or connected to things that aren't related to something else. So there's obfuscation always in these ads, and you got to take them with a grain of salt.
You're exactly right. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you by Bridge Valley. Are you interested in improving your company's IT workforce? You may want to know Bridge Valley offers custom tailored IT training to bridge the skills gap. At Bridge Valley, you can train for little or no cost with a 50-50 salary match. Bridge Valley can also supply skilled graduates and apprenticeships for your company. Visit bridgevalley.edu/apprenticeships today. Let's knock out a couple texts here, shall we?
Do it.
Mr. Adams text says, Dave, I changed my voter registration 10 years ago to independent. Now that the state has gotten worse under GOP control, too many social issues on the people, we want to be free, not controlled.
Wow, yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that are switched to independent. And keep in mind, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but independent, non-affiliated is pretty large. It's just nearly as large as the Republican and Democratic voter registration. So it's one of those things like people are going to that as sort of a catch-all because maybe they're not quite Democrats on that side of things, but maybe they see the Republican side of things getting too crazy. So it's sort of a safe harbor for them.
Text says, Dave, I'll be honest with you. The mailers and the numerous roadside signs blank me off, and I'm less likely to vote for them.
I will tell you, someone had a funny tweet the other day about how, at least, and I won't say who the candidate is, but I know who they're referring to, how they're not sure if the person's running for a judgeship or running to be America's Next Top Model. So there's a lot of very model-esque photos being used on some of these big signs.
Text says 98% of all mail ends up in the trash. People don't file away their mail. Mailers are very effective. All that's needed is a repetition, just like in radio. As long as the repetition is there, the trash can does not matter. Mailers work, and it's good advice to use them.
Well, I would love to see some corroborating evidence for that. I'd say this election, I'm on a broadcast platform, so being a little biased here, but I think broadcast is the way to go, and I think you're seeing that with Chris Miller, with some of his numbers coming up. I mean, it's moving the needle somewhere. So
yeah, and exactly right. And you know, the thing about it is and you can hate on it, but it's just where we are right now. It takes a couple $100,000 to be governor of the state of West Virginia, if not much more than that. And we've gotten to a place, and I'm not picking on the governor's race, I'm talking about it in general, that outside of a simple county race, and Kanawha County is a little bit kind of an outlier because it's such a large county, but it takes hundreds of thousands of dollars to get elected to just about any office. I mean, I'm talking about you want to run for assessor, and I'm just using that. You want to run for surveyor. You better have about $100,000 in the bank.
Yeah, I've never really been anti-money in politics per se, because at the end of the day, campaign signs cost money, mailers cost money, TV, radio ads cost money, newspaper ads cost money. I mean, you can't run a campaign on $10. You just can't do it. You got to have some money in the bank, and even congressionally, I think someone said, on average, you have to have about $300,000 to even have a serious congressional campaign.
All right, I think we have a call. So let's go to Anthony. Let's go to the phones, and you're on with Stephen Adams. Go ahead.
Hey, Stephen. This is Joe in Charleston, West Virginia.
Hey, Joe.
Just about ballots in general.
Yeah.
And I called last week about sample ballots. And, me historically and a lot of my family members used to be able to get a sample ballot, no matter which party you were on, or one of each, just to kind of vet and see what's going on and look them over and do your own little research. And they didn't have any ballots available, just general ballots that you could go through. I mean, you get all this junk in the mail, but, a lot of us used to see ballots. They would publish them, in the newspapers in different places, and especially if you could get one, at least a couple of days before the election.
Well, it's a little bit early. I'll jump in here. It's a little bit early right now. I mean, they normally wait till around the time early voting starts. And I can tell you, having some experience, as Stephen does, working in state government, I mean, there's a lot that goes into putting. I understand completely what you're saying. And I always try to look over the ballot, before I go into the voting booth myself. But as of right now, it's a little bit early. But certainly by the time early voting starts, ballots should be out by that point.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously don't have the deadlines in front of us, but they're usually are pretty solid deadlines. You should be able to go to your county clerks once the deadline is passed to go get a copy of that. And I can't speak for the local newspapers here. All my newspapers in the northern half of the state, but they predominantly put the sample ballots in their newspapers. So hopefully they do that here in Charleston as well. So just be on the lookout. But if you ever have any questions, call your county clerk and ask.
But that doesn't give you much time. When they get ready for early voting, get all that done, it only gives you a few weeks before the election.
Okay. All right,
and that's what I was going to say. It seems like they used to do them because everything's closed. They know who's running for what now. And just somebody had a sample ballot out there, so it give the general populace time to kind of do their own little, vetting and calling and screening and seeing who they want to vote for. But there again, it seems like everybody just kind of picks a name that they are familiar with when they go to vote. And this guy's name sounds familiar than the other guys.
Okay. All right. Hey, Joe, I appreciate your phone call. Thanks a lot. It is 19 minutes away from 10. Final checks before we let you go here. Stephen said if it costs $3 million to run for governor, Chris Miller will be set. The Miller family thanks the federal government can thank the federal government for a $3 million grant.
The only thing I'll say about PPP, I think it's right to scrutinize Chris Miller for that for sure, but I'd also point out that if you were a business and you had the ability to get it and pay it back, you probably got a PPP loan. One of my best friends got a PPP loan.
I don't know a single business owner that didn't get one.
That's it. So I can't fault him for that. But
go ahead.
But as for the scrutiny, for sure, absolutely needs to be scrutinized.
All right. Quickly, anything you're looking at this week?
Oh man, well, I'm hoping to talk to some commissioner candidates for ag commissioner this week. That's kind of a quiet race or whatnot. You got Joshua Higginbotham challenging current commissioner Kent Leonhardt. So hopefully we'll be talking to them, and I'll be looking into some issues with West Virginia Public Broadcasting. So fun times.
And where can people read your stuff, sir?
Track me down on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Stephen Adams WV. You can find me there. And Parkersburg News and Sentinel, Wheeling Intelligencer, Weird and Daily Times, Intermountain and Elkins, and the Journal of Martinsburg.
And, of course, it's all available online. Hey, man, I appreciate you being here. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Thanks, Dave.
18 minutes away from 10, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses care for your family.
Buckle up. Adventure will never be the same on the Thornhill Motor Mile. Ready, set, go. Hey, it's Sydney inviting you to the new Thornhill Toyota for our amazing deals during the Toyota National Sales Event. Just imagine you in a new 2024 Toyota Camry, Corolla, or all-new Crown. Or step up with a Toyota SUV like a new 2024 RAV4 or Highlander Gas, where you can enjoy 3.99% financing for 60 months. So many possibilities. Ready, set, go to the new Thornhill Toyota on the Thornhill Motor Mile, US 119 in Chapmanville. Click or come by ThornhillToyotaWV.com and let's go places. Must qualify for all offers through Toyota Financial expires April 1st, 2024. Shop Thornhill to get yours.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon. You hear us say that a lot, but it's true. Wherever you may go, chances are you'll find a Parmar store there, offering everything you need to get you in and then back on the road as soon as possible. From gas to groceries and snacks and items for your house, we have it at Parmar stores. Download the app and sign up for the Parmar Rewards Card too. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
Are you changing jobs or gearing up for retirement? Don't navigate your financial journey alone. At 4th Avenue Financial, we specialize in guiding individuals through life's transitions. From optimizing your retirement savings to managing your investments, we're here to provide expert advice every step of the way. Schedule your free consultation with John Burdett and take control of your financial future today. 4thavenuefinancial.com.
Securities offered through Jenny B. Cole Financial Incorporated. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Jenny B. Cole Advisors Incorporated.
Looking to replace your car with a reliable and stylish ride without breaking the bank? Walker Chevrolet and Nitro is stacked with pre-owned inventory, and they have the car, truck, or SUV that you've been waiting for. So what are you waiting for? Not only is the selection plentiful at Walker right now, but you know that Gene and Ryan built their business the old-fashioned way by making friends. There are no gimmicks or games at Walker, just honest, fair deals. And don't forget that Walker is still buying cars too. That's right. All makes and models are welcome at Walker, and they'll give you top dollar for it, even if you plan to buy somewhere else. So get to Walker Chevrolet today and take advantage of all of this inventory. Cars, trucks, and SUVs, they're all here, and they're waiting to go home with you today. At Walker Chevrolet, in the shadow of the Interstate Bridge, just off the Nitro exit of I-64. Walker Chevrolet, making friends one deal at a time.
15 away from 10, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you by Live Healthy West Virginia, presented by WVU Medicine. Live Healthy tackles pressing health issues. It's a podcast offering insights into medical breakthroughs and preventative care, featuring WVU Medicine's expert physicians aimed at fostering healthier lifestyles in and beyond the state's a valuable resource for all. Discover the latest episodes on WVMetronews.com, under the podcast menu, and start your journey towards better health today. Sex says, Dave, women need to be aware of Dean for judge if they want to protect their rights. All right. Matt Sutton, Chief of Staff for the mayor, is here. How are you?
I'm doing good, buddy. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. You been doing all right, man?
I'm doing all right. You got mayor on all the time. You invite Tim and Adam on to talk about wrestling. I just sit there. I'm a listener now. I'm just a listener.
You're always welcome on the show, man. Anytime you want to come in. So A lot of exciting stuff been going on in Huntington. What city am I in here? Let me go back to Charleston for a moment. I'm sorry, I'm having a little brain fog for some reason today. So in Charleston, the city that we are currently in right now, we had the Lil Wayne concert last week. I know we had Skynyrd and ZZ Top. It's not all about concerts, though, but we've had a lot of activity. The All White Affair that went on, Woody Woods, my man, making that happen. There's been a lot of good stuff going on in Charleston here lately, bro.
Yeah, I mean, the weather's getting ready to break, and it's getting ready to be the start of the very exciting yet crazy season in Charleston. I mean, it has been over the last couple of years. We've seen this time of year really start to be the kickoff for what ends up being an extremely exciting spring, and then an amazing summer and into the fall. But the back-to-back concerts over at the Coliseum Convention Center were just absolutely amazing. I think, I was at the Lil Wayne concert with my wife, and it was just great to see everybody there having a good time, enjoying themselves. And it seemed like, and from every indication, that Lil Wayne himself had a great time, and that's always very important, right? Because that helps us continue to get the acts. And then the Skynyrd ZZ Top show on Saturday, Woody's party, and then just everything else. All the Easter events. We had the Easter egg hunt down at Magic Island yesterday. We had the Lately Field. They had almost a carnival, basically, Easter event. It was just, it was a really amazing weekend. Got a little bit of rain mixed in there, but overall, we couldn't have asked for anything better.
When might we see some regatta announcements coming?
I think you'll probably start seeing regatta announcements over the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll start to see those flow out as we get excited into the summer. So, yeah, it's going to be... I'm excited. So the next couple of weeks, I think you'll start to see the regatta stuff come out, and that'll really build towards just an amazing summer with everything going on.
I do want to mention that the home show is going to be this weekend over at the Coliseum Convention Center. I say that because as I'm talking to my man Jim Strawn this morning. We're going to have some folks on from the home show on the show coming up tomorrow, and also I think we're going to have some more people come on Friday. So I wanted to ask me for an update on the municipal auditorium situation. Where are we as far as an engineering report?
So we have the engineering report is almost complete. The plan is for it to be released on Thursday. I think here soon you'll see a meeting be scheduled sometime Thursday in order for the report to be made public and have some discussion amongst both city council members and members of the Coliseum and Convention Center board. So I would expect it to be Thursday of this week when we really start to discuss what the report says, all of the details in the report, a lot of the history of the municipal auditorium, which I think is going to be important for people to see. We won't dig into it too much, but the report goes into that and the issues that the building has had over the last, basically since it was built. It did not appear to be, kind of an isolated incident over the last 10 years or so. It's been a while that building has had issues, but we'll start to see the report come out on Thursday and then have discussions about what's next.
Had a text here wanting to know, is the city going to be giving away compost this year?
I don't believe we're going to be giving away compost this year, but we will check and let you know, and Dave will let you know for sure. I think that we're out, and I know that our machine went down, and it's one of those machines that is very difficult to fix. Based on its location, it's hard to get out of there, get to our machine shop, and get back. So they might have got that done. I'm not quite sure, but if my answer is wrong, we'll let you know.
All right. I do want to throw this out there, kind of get serious here for a moment. I know that's difficult for you and I to do when you put the two of us together, but I do get nearly almost daily text about this to the show. Are you at liberty or to discuss any information about the Jimmy Riston investigation? Anything new to report there, or...
No, I mean, the last thing I heard about it was the last thing you heard about it, which essentially once it hits the prosecutor's office, it's out of the police department will continue to help in the investigation, but once it hits their office, that's their purview, and what comes out of that is up to them and whatever they feel to do. So no, once Chief Dempsey announced it went over there, that's the last I heard about it.
All right, we need to take a break. I'm running a little overdue this morning. Our phone calls to the Dave Allen Show at service of Biggly Piggly Wiggly. Texting service is provided by Fruth Pharmacy, your hometown family pharmacy. Back after this with Matt Sutton. And by the way, if you'd like to get a question in for Matt Sutton, you can call or text Biggly Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Fruth Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. Back after this from the Parmar Store Studio on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Our family businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses have been creating jobs in West Virginia since 1997.
Buckle up. Adventure will never be the same on the Thornhill Motor Mile. Ready, set, go. Hey, it's Sydney inviting you to the new Thornhill Toyota for our amazing deals during the Toyota National Sales Event. Just imagine you in a new 2024 Toyota Camry, Corolla, or all-new Crown. Or step up with a Toyota SUV like a new 2024 RAV4 or Highlander Gas, where you can enjoy 3.99% financing for 60 months. So many possibilities. Ready, set, go to the new Thornhill Toyota. The Thornhill Motor Mile, US 119 in Chapmanville. Click or come by ThornhillToyotaWV.com and let's go places. Must qualify for all offers through Toyota Financial. Expires April 1st, 2024. Shop Thornhill to get yours.
We need real conservatives in the House of Delegates. We need Mark Carter in District 57.
Hi, I am Mark Carter. As a conservative lawyer, I am a strong supporter of life, faith, and the Second Amendment.
Mark Carter was appointed to national offices by both President Donald Trump and President George W. Bush. Let's elect a new conservative Republican to the House.
I am Mark Carter, and I would appreciate your vote for House of Delegates.
Paid for by Mark Carter for West Virginia.
Thrive with 5 at the best community bank in the Kanawha Valley, Poca Valley Bank. Poca Valley Bank is now offering a certificate of deposit special, 10-month APY, annual percentage yield 5%. Take advantage of this great rate to grow your savings. For more information, stop by a Poca Valley Bank location today or call 844-782-2651. Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Certain terms and conditions apply. Rates based on minimum annual percentage yield, subject to change without notice. Minimum deposit required of $10,000 of new money not currently on deposit with Poca Valley Bank to receive APY. Member FDIC.
Thanks to the leadership of State Senator Eric Nelson, West Virginia's economy is stronger than ever. State Senator Eric Nelson helped control government spending and then passed the largest tax cut in state history. The Coalition for a Stronger West Virginia would like to thank State Senator Eric Nelson for standing up for our families. West Virginians have more jobs and lower taxes, all due to State Senator Eric Nelson, paid for by the Coalition for a Stronger West Virginia, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
7 away from 10. If you're looking for a new way to enjoy your favorite Metro News programs, Talkline, Sportsline, Three Guys, and more, instead of just listening, you can now watch the Voice of West Virginia. Check out the new WV Metro News TV app. Simply download it all to all your favorite devices, Apple TV, iOS, Android, Roku, Amazon, and more. Download it from the website and get ready to watch as well as listen to your favorite Metro News programming. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. Chief of Staff for the mayor, Amy Goodwin. Matt Sutton is here. Any updates on the projects around the town center?
So, yeah, I mean, I think earlier this week, or this is a different week, but last week, the Sports Authority Board met. They are moving closer to finalizing the agreement to purchase the Macy's building. And then once that happens, then demolition will start. And there'll start to be more secure plans about what the actual sports center will look like. So there's a lot of progress. It's slow. It's unwinding. Anything that's dealing with the mall properties, the garages, the mall, Macy's, anything is just it's a hard thing to unwind. But that's been the work for the last month between our team and the county's team, and feel like there's been great progress. So, yeah, we're going to start to see a lot of things move probably over the next 2-3 months.
And, we all remember what the town center was back in the day. You're from this area. I'm not, but I can remember visiting the town center and what it was like. And we're just hoping to return it to some. I know that's not up to the city. Yeah. That's up to that's private owned business. But still, we'd love to see it returning.
Absolutely, yeah.
Somewhere.
I think what our philosophy is that it's the government's job to prop up spaces in order for private development to succeed. And we saw that work with City Center at Slack Plaza. We've seen it work with the upgrades of the convention center. We've seen it work in different models as we get ready to do the Canal Boulevard as well. And the same thing's true here. We're very hopeful and believe that with the addition of the Sports Center downtown and the addition of several new businesses and the new headquarters of TC Energy, that it will be they'll have no choice but to either develop the property or to find somebody who will develop the property, because it's going to be too good an asset. We're going to have too many people in town. And I think we've proven over the last couple of weeks. Quick aside, the Lil Wayne concert, people see it as a concert, but my wife owns a small business that is really an appointment-only business, and it's in the wedding business. But she had somebody come into the store on Friday who ended up buying a wedding dress, and she asked them where they were from, and they said Roanoke, Virginia. She said, well, how'd you end up here? She said, well, we were at the Lil Wayne concert last night, and we just saw that you had a wedding shop, and they came in and bought. I mean, so they came in from Roanoke, stayed the night, and spent money in town. And that's just one story, and I think those are the type of things that we lean on when we really look at how we drive economic development. Our job is to put people in the city of Charleston, and then businesses will grow from there.
Getting serious here for a moment, any comment or anything about the Tyke Hunt situation?
I think right now, I think the chief of police and the deputy chief of police are still doing their investigation. And then as it relates to anything other than that, I'll have to leave that up to our legal team to talk about. But we really have seen, since Chief Dempsey and Deputy Chief Webb have come on, it's really been a 360 or a 180, I guess would be the proper term, for the police department. I think we've seen a lot of things heading in the right direction. They've implemented a lot of policies, and they've really started from the ground up. I know I won't step on their thunder, but they've really been talking to folks who have been on the police department for 6 months and for 6 years and for 16 years to try to figure out what the direction the police department needs to be. And we've been very happy with how that's been working.
The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live brought to you in part by Hudson's Pizza. Get a large 18-inch pepperoni pizza and large tossed salad, only $20.99 at your favorite Hudson's location. Texas, how much money has been allocated for Cato Golf Course?
So that's an interesting question. I'm learning all about this. Cato Golf Course right now is under review. We brought in an expert, I think from Pennsylvania, maybe somewhere, to come in and to teach to figure out exactly what needs to happen with the greens and to teach our staff about how they need to properly maintain and operate the greens. So I think over the next few months, you're going to see a lot of upgrades to the golf course. Not my area of expertise by far, maintaining a golf course or playing golf for that matter. But it is right now is a tremendous focus. I know the mayor and Director Poore have been talking about it for the last several months over the winter, and now we finally got an expert in who's going to tell us what to do. So it's going to be exciting for people who play. I know the disc golf goes well there and a lot of hiking trails, but we're getting ready to get that golf course back on track.
I did want to mention that it is spring, which means there are several spring cleanups going on. This Saturday, team cleanup comes to the Kanawha City and South Hills area starting at 9 o'clock. You can pick up supplies, anything that you may need at the Kanawha City Community Center. I posted some information about that on my social media. So hopefully by then the rain will be out of here.
Yeah, those are always really well attended. I know, it's something every year since we started that Councilman Bruce King and Councilman Chad Robinson have asked for in Kanawha City, and we've been able to do them. And then all of the folks in South Hills, they've been very successful, and we enjoy them. It's a good community event as well, and I think you get to learn a lot about what's going on in your neighborhood. If you come into Kanawha City right now, people think it's a lot about traffic, but there's a lot of business development going on in that area as well. So be good for people from all across the city to come out, and then it'll kind of culminate the last cleanup we have will be the weekend right before USA Cycling's in town, and we're going to do that downtown in the East End, and that's really all hands on deck right now for that. That's one of the largest events, at least I'll ever experience in this town in terms of how much it spreads out and how much resources is needed.
And some information you released as we close. Some information came out last week about that.
Yeah, the routes came out last week, and then all of the traffic and all those patterns will come out. But I think really looking forward to what the CVB is doing and what USA Cycling is doing along with our team is just it is going to be a very impressive event. We're going to learn as we go. We're going to ask people to bear with us as it relates to street closures and all of that. But I think over the next couple of weeks, you'll see our team out talking to people who are directly impacted by the street closures and figuring out how we can make sure that their business or church as well, and then working very closely to make sure that, because it starts on Election Day. So
and this is going to be the biggest event. I mean, if you think about it, I've said this, the biggest event Charleston has ever held, because regatta is primarily in one area. This is all over the city of Charleston. Wrap it up with that.
It's going to be the biggest event, at least in my lifetime, that we've ever seen, just due to the sheer volume of area that it's going to cover and the amount of area it's going to cover in our town. But I tell you what, we're excited about it, and we close the whole town down in order to have amazing events like this. So that's going to be the kickoff to our season, and then it goes into festival, then it goes into regatta, it goes into multi-fest, it goes into rib fest, and it's just going to be an exciting summer in the city of Charleston.
All right, man. I appreciate you being here. Matt Sutton, the Chief of Staff for the Goodwin Administration, I appreciate you being here. Coming up tomorrow, we're going to spend some time talking about the home show, which is this weekend, and some nasty weather. Meteorologist Brian Hughes on the show coming up tomorrow. Dave Wilson in for Hoppy coming up next. I'll see you tomorrow. Till then, have fun and love somebody.
WCHS-AM, W243-DRFM Charleston, and W283-AQ Cross Lanes, a WVRC media station. We're proud to live here, too.